All right, Matt, the third in our featured prelim series with Bellator 238, we have a contracted 180-pound catchweight fight between Curtious Millender and Moses Murrietta. This is the return of Curtious Millender over to Bellator. He fought there in the past. Losses to Brennan Ward and Fernando Gonzalez, left on a win. Then he went on to find success in LFA. And then he went over to the UFC and he beat Thiago Alves and he looked great in his debut. And then he got another win over Max Griffin. And then he beat Siar Bahadurzada. And then he lost 2 in a row and did not look very good, and that was it for him in the UFC. And for Moses Murrietta, who he's taking on at 8-3, this is a guy that also had a lot of success over in LFA. Fought for a title there against Brendan Allen, who's now in the UFC. Lost that fight, lost another one, now he's in Bellator. It's kind of a tough one, but what can you tell us, at least from Curtious Millender's standpoint? I mean, we know what we kind of saw in the UFC. What are some of the holes in his game?
Oh, there's a glaring weakness in Curtious Millender's game that anyone who I'm assuming has a high school wrestling acumen could be able to exploit. Curtious Millender, A, can't get up once he gets taken down, and B, has 0 takedown defense. He's a phenomenal striker. He's really good at Muay Thai. He's got knees and elbows. Like, a lot of people remember for that big Thiago Alves knockout he had where he hit him with the knee coming up the middle. It was a really nice performance. But he has such a glaring weakness that when you are fighting guys like Bilal Muhammad and Alizé Zaleski dos Santos, his last 2 losses, they're going to eventually figure it out, exploit it, and then beat you up.
It's kind of weird. To me, I would have wished to see a little bit more of Millender in the UFC, especially the way that he came in on short notice and beat Thiago Alves, and he looked so good, and then he looked decent against Griffin, and I mean, Siar Bahadurzada, you know what you're getting. This guy's a striker.
But even he was able to take Millender down and hold him there. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If you have such a big weakness at the highest level, like, you can't get away with that for very long. Like, you have to fix up those holes immediately, because you're just going to fight another guy who, even if he can barely wrestle, that's all they're going to focus on in their camp, and they're just going to take him.
And in this fight, Millender's going to have a couple inches of height. He's going to have 4 inches of reach, and on Tapology, out of 285 votes, 98% are going with Curtious Millender, and of them, 75% going with Millender by knockout. Matt, who are you picking here?
I think Millender's going to win by knockout, but if Moses can put together 3 takedowns, that's all he needs. He needs to take down the first 30 seconds of each round, and he's going to be able to win a unanimous decision easily. But I think Millender's going to be able to get done on the feet.
It seems like on a lot of these Bellator cards, all of a sudden, a huge underdog gets a win, a la Nick Newell losing. Yeah, Manny Muro getting the big win there. So, yeah, all sorts of moving pieces. I'm going to go with Millender, but you know what? If Moses Murrietta comes out of nowhere and takes him down and just ragdolls him for 3 rounds.
Yeah, come out in a wrestling singlet and wrestling shoes, and that's all I would do this whole fight.
Exactly. Let's see what happens, Matt. But we're really looking forward to it. You're not going to want to miss the rest of our Bellator 238 picks here on YouTube with Fight Night Picks. Let's get into it.